Welcome to Aperitivo. So if you've done this before, you know sort of the lineup, but I'll tell you what this is meant to be. It's a conversation with artists, and that's a big category, right? So we've had producers, we've had some of our staff who happen to be artists themselves, but also educators. So we had Nick and Bruce as one of our two of our guests on one episode. We've had quite a few singers, and most of them being very advanced singers. So you'll know we had last time we did this, Patricia Rissette. We've also had Stephanie Blythe. Who we've not had yet is a conductor. And we've also not had someone who really works with young artists. So we've not featured young artists. So we have a 2-for-1 with our guest today, Maestro Enrique Patron, who has a very distinguished career as a conductor, mostly in Mexico, but I know he's conducted elsewhere, and we'll talk about that. But also is, I will say, kind of genius teacher and coach of singers that have gone on to, some of them some significant careers, but also some phenomenal young singers. And we're working with Maestro Patron as part of our Opera en Español initiative. And many of you may know about that. And it's managed by our wonderful staff member, Andrea Catan, who is our Director of Hispanic Affairs and Major Gifts. So fundraising, but also connecting with any Hispanic initiatives that we have. So I'm gonna let Andrea start off with talking about Opera en Español and also a small series, Opera en tu Sofá, within that, and then we'll introduce our other guest. Andrea, choose yours. Oh, we didn't have our, I was just talking. So we're supposed to start off with a drink, sorry. So Darren,
Yeah.
introduce our guest bartender. I apologize.
That's okay. We should have done rehearsal, I guess, after all.
Exactly, sorry.
So we are very fortunate to have David Duran on today with us. He is the Director of Operations for the Pendry Hotel. And if you don't know what Director of Operations means, it means that we're very fortunate to have him, if only for a few minutes, because he has got to be extremely busy. That means that he directs all of their, what hotels call outlets, which is restaurants and bars and things like that. And I actually have it written down in front of me because there's so many. They have the bar Fifth and Rose, the restaurant Provisional, the club Oxford Social Club, Nason's Beer Hall, the bar, Lionfish, the restaurant, and the pool house. If you were counting, that's 6. That's impressive for one person. On top of that, a hotel with banquet rooms, etc. And they are fantastic. And I got to just say, I went last week to Provisional for brunch. It was fantastic. They've closed off 5th Street. They put beautiful furniture out there, hedges, trees, umbrellas. It's really, really nice. And the food's fantastic and the service is excellent. I can't say enough wonderful things about it. We did our gala there this year. It was the best I've ever done, honestly. And the team was amazing to work with. And we're so lucky to have you. And David, what is going on at the Pendry these days?
Thank you, Darren. Yeah, so I'm actually in where we did the gala event, which was an amazing, beautiful event. This is Oxford Social Room, which is the room I'm in now. And so, we actually opened up back in June. As mentioned, David said in the beginning, there was a very large impact to the hospitality industry, much like many others and still with many others. And so we opened, we were closed for about 3 months. We opened up back in June, very little fanfare, let alone business to start. But as months have progressed, it's gotten busier and busier and busier. Really a good sign of not only people's comfort level with all the different elements we're doing. Since we've opened, beyond some of the state mandated and county mandated items, we've implemented a ton of unique elements to our company and our property, whether it be how we clean the rooms, whereas one person used to clean them, now it takes 3. If you can imagine that, there's 3 steps in that process, to just what we do around property for cleanliness, general cleanliness. We require masks throughout all areas. We have hand sanitizer, we partner with Cintas actually, so we have about 200 plus dispensers placed throughout the property, whether it be in guest areas or in our employee areas. So really taking things seriously. We also implemented a telemedicine component called One Medical, that not only for our employees, when they arrive every day, they have to take a questionnaire, but we also offer a membership for our guests if they stay here, free membership for a month. So a lot of great things to not only help people feel comfortable and safe, but obviously, you know, help us move forward in the world. Really, we're looking forward. We have all the outlets open with the exception of the one I'm in now, which is Oxford Social Club. I think this one will be a little ways away, so we look forward to welcoming you back and the Opera Gala back when we're able to. But ultimately, I will say that business as a whole has definitely improved, and our operations are outside, as Darren mentioned. We were able to go inside as of last week, but really we're focused on the outside because with San Diego weather, can't be beat, especially this time of the year, and really it's the safest environment to be into for everybody. So we're very fortunate we have that opportunity with Fish Street being closed, but ultimately, you know, there's still a lot of things to move forward with before we get back to where we were. But as with everyone and as with the arts, we're pulling for everybody because, you know, the arts are a huge thing of what, you know, we do not only here on property, but obviously the world. I could tell you I'm an opera, I enjoy the opera and the arts. I actually visited the Taormina Opera Theater when I was in Sicily 2 years ago. So I'm a huge fan. I was here for the event, stayed the entire time, just because I loved seeing all the performances. So we look forward to having you back. So to get to the drinking, not to take too much time, I'm not going to prepare a drink just because, unfortunately, if I were to be at the bar, it'd be a little too loud. But we are going to send out. We do have a recipe available for everybody. This is the drink that I'm featuring, which is our little autumn orchard today. So this is. I hope I have brandy drinkers here. Everyone like brandy, hopefully. This is actually a cognac-based drink that we have here at Fifth and Rose. So the recipe itself, it calls for basically 1.5 ounces of your favorite cognac, 1 ounce of orange juice. Then we actually have a product, you might be familiar with it. If not, you can get it at any store. It's called Ancho Reyes liqueur. It's basically a kind of a green chili liqueur that adds just a little hint of spice. It's not spicy. It's more of a kind of a bright spice, a green pepper spice like bell pepper. And then we finish it with 1/2 ounce of lemon juice and then bitters, actually just 3 dashes. So it's a fairly simple drink to make. You can serve it over ice or shake it and have it off ice. And then we finish it with a little rosemary sprig that we light on fire just to give it a little smoky element and herbaceous element at the end. Great. You know, it's crazy to think we're going to be in autumn soon, but we are. It's September, so summer ends soon. So it's a great little drink to start us off into fall. And if you have the recipe once we send out and enjoy it, please feel free to send me a note. But cheers to everybody.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And cheers to all of our guests. David, thank you.
Of course.
Looks delicious. Yeah. All right. So now let's get back to what I jumped ahead with, which is our other guests. And let's introduce Andrea Catan, who many of you know, who, as you know, is Andrea is the director of the Hispanic Initiatives and Major Gifts. And Opera en Español is really, we've worked together on it, but I'm letting her really take a pretty free rein with what that program is, and also Opera en tu Sofá, which is a program of Opera en Español. Andrea?
Yeah, hi everyone. First of all, bienvenidos y gracias. Gracias, David, Darren, for having us today. I'm kind of very proud of all these things that we've been doing in the company in regards of the Hispanic initiatives. And you know what? We're going to put a video of the Opera en tu Sofá program, the beginning. So you might have seen it before. But this will give you an idea of what these programs are about. And these programs are part of, like David said, Opera en Español initiative, which is not only a national initiative, but a binational initiative. We have a relationship with Mexico, in particular with the state of Mexico called Sinaloa, and Mazatlan, where Maestro Patron is from, is included in this initiative. So could we have the first video, please? Hola, queridos amigos. Welcome to Opera en tu Sofá, a place where we will share opera and Hispanic musical heritage. As part of San Diego Opera Binational Initiative, Opera en Español, we will present 8 programs with talented Mexican young opera singers. Welcome, Maestro Enrique Patron de Rueda. Bienvenido. El Maestro Enrique Patron is the most recognized Mexican opera conductor. Es un honor tenerlo aquí y ni hablar de su increíble trayectoria como director de ópera. Bienvenido, Maestro.
Thank you very much, dearest Andrea. Thank you very much for my friends of Opera San Diego. I'm sorry that I interrupt you.
No. I am sorry. Maestro Enrique has a young artist vocal program in Mazatlan, Mexico, where he was born. And he trains all the future big stars of the opera world. So let's start with the program.
Good. So thank you, Andrea. And that's the introduction to this part of Opera en tu Sofá, correct? Yeah.
Yes, and let me welcome Maestro Enrique Patron. Enrique, Maestro, please join us in this venture. I will let David and you talk, and I'll always be a support if you know, whatever you ask me, I'll be here.
Excellent. Thank you, Andrea. Maestro, welcome.
And Enrique, you will need to unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, we put people on mute. So if you can unmute, just make sure that you hit your unmute button. There
Yes, okay.
Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Hello, David. Hello, Andrea. As you said, mentioned, my name is Enrique Patron. I'm Mexican. I'm from Mazatlan, Sinaloa, beautiful place on the Pacific, very close to you. And we do a lot of opera here, not as much as David does in San Diego, but we will do many things together, hopefully, in the future.
Thank you. It's great to have you with us. So what we do in this program is just get to know everyone a little bit better. So I'm going to just ask you a few questions, and then we'll see some videos. So you are from Mazatlan. You're from Mazatlan, huh?
Yes.
And if you've not been to Mazatlan, our guest, it's so beautiful. I was there last year with Andrea and with Maestro Patron, hearing some of his young singers. And I was just struck by, wow, this would be a great escape from San Diego because it's relatively near, actually, but it's such a beautiful place. When you were young, was music an important part of your life as a child?
Could you repeat that? I didn't understand you.
Sure. Was music an important part
okay.
of your life as a child? Yeah?
Yes, it was an important part of my life, even though I don't come from a musical family. But I was picking here and there and pictures and a film with Maria Lanza. And everything took me to the place where I fall in love with opera. And when I told my father that I wanted to be a conductor, he thought I was going crazy. So that's my story.
Maybe he was a little right because,
Yeah, well, you had to be crazy to be happy.
Right, exactly. Well, that's a good point. That's a very good point. And are you a musician? All conductors are in some way. Were you a pianist or a violinist or a singer? What was your music?
Well, first, to have my father happy, I had to have a degree in business administration. And he was not happy with that. Then I had to have a master's degree in industrial psychology.
Wow.
So, but at the same time, I was always studying music all the time. So I went to the Conservatory of Music and I did a career piano player. And I did study other instruments like clarinet and percussions. But always my tendency was to be a conductor, an opera conductor.
Wow.
Always, all the time.
So you knew then that was the direction you really wanted to go and your passion, right?
Yes. I fell in love with theater, with singers pretending or relating a story. So
telling stories is what we do.
Yes.
So you've conducted quite a bit at Bellas Artes in Mexico City. And
yes.
If one of our guests have not been to the Opera Theater Bellas Artes, it's one of the most beautiful opera halls anywhere, and it's in Mexico City. And I would highly recommend, if you've not taken a trip to Mexico City, to experience the culture there, that you do. It's very near, it's an easy trip, there's very high culture, it's a very beautiful city that you would think many times you're in Paris. It's just a remarkable city. But so tell me about your relationship with Bellas Artes. How long were you there conducting?
Well, first I went to study in England. I was there for 5 years. I was studying there to be an opera conductor. Then I went to Italy for 1 year. And then I was very lucky that the general director of the opera in that time, Romulo Ramirez Esteva, looked for me. He needed an assistant.
Uh-huh.
An assistant that would do everything, conduct a backstage chorus, and you know what I'm talking about, to direct cameras in a broadcast of operas. So I was there, and I was very lucky that the main director of music was Fernando Lozano, who was a conductor and was very generous to me. So I came to him and I told him, look, I had just came from England. And I want to conduct. I want to be your assistant in everything you do. And he asked me, do you know Aida? And I swallowed very hard. I said, yes. So I need to do the general rehearsal today.
Oh, wow.
The dress rehearsal. So I went down, I did it, and that's how my career started. So I did many operas there. I think I had done like 700 concerts there, and I've done everything: ballet, opera, symphony, popular music. It's a very dear house for me. As you say, it's one of the most beautiful theaters in the world. But also in Mazatlan, we have a beautiful theater. Small, tiny, but it's very beautiful.
Tell our guests about that beautiful theater that's in Mazatlan.
The Teatro Ángela Peralta was built in 1860, more or less. And it was a theater that was used to do zarzuela, to do theater, to do everything. And a very famous opera singer, Ángela Peralta, I don't know if you heard the name. She was very famous in her time. She was touring the country. So she came on a boat from La Paz, I think. And she was sick, very sick with a kind of flu of that time. Peste amarilla, I don't know how you say it, bubonic pest?
Yes, sure. Bubonic, yes. Yeah.
So she arrived in Mazatlan, she did a rehearsal of Lucia, I think, or Trovatore. She was sick already. Half of the company died, and with the third part of the population of Mazatlan died with her. Wow. So it's like a big story for an opera.
Two things I want to say. So she was going to sing Aida on August 24th, and I don't know if all our audience knows, but San Diego Opera gave a gift to Sinaloa, to Mazatlan and Culiacan, of the Aida set.
Yeah, that's true.
So hopefully they will premiere Aida on August 24th of next year to remember that date. So
that's very nice.
That would be wonderful.
One thing. The second thing is that my great-great-grandfather was the flutist in Lucia in Mazatlan.
Oh.
So.
Very nice. So we have, many of you know, all of you know Andrea, and you know her as a member of our staff, but you may not know what a gifted musician she is, and a wonderful harpist. That's how I first met Andrea, was as hiring her as a musician in New York. And then she's moved on and trained herself as a fundraiser, and now we're so lucky to have her. But she also worked as a musician with Maestro Enrique Patron. So yeah. Maestro, tell us about your early experiences with our very young Andrea Puente.
I think the first opera we did together was Bohème, wasn't it, Andrea? La Bohème in Guadalajara, Teatro Degollado. And she was terrified.
Of course I was terrified. It was
terrified of me.
Because he was so demanding, and this was my second opera in my life. The first one was Lucia, and then the second one was Bohème. And I was green as an avocado, meaning I was, I just came out from school. I was in Europe and I just came to this post. Anyway, but I have had the privilege to work under Maestro Patron's baton, and you know, I would say that his most, for me, your biggest quality is that you make music with the musicians and the singers. You truly make music, and we have unforgettable memories, all of us that have played with him, under him, about this. You know, it's not only about measuring measures or just conducting, it's really giving his heart and soul and passion. And I remember dearly this. I played with him Bohème. I learned to play Marum Butterfly with him. A lot of repertoire.
Turandot,
Yeah.
all the small operas.
Right, all little tiny chamber operas. Well, so I want to get into some videos here, but I first want to talk about how I started a relationship with you, Maestro Patron. So there's a wonderful competition that has happened several years in Sinaloa, in the city of Culiacan. And it's a concurso, a competition, a Sinaloa concurso, and Maestro Patron conducts it. And as it turns out, most of the people that win are his students. And we'll get to that in just a minute. But so I've been a judge at that competition twice. And I was just struck by the quality of the singing. There's phenomenal singing in Mexico, which I will talk to you about in just a minute. But I think let's start off with a video, and we're going to see 3 videos of singers, and these are all singers that are students of Maestro Patron in various stages of their career. And I think our first is Jessica Arevalo.
Arevalo.
Arevalo,
Yes.
Arevalo, wrong accent. And who's singing Tu Que de Gel, which you may know is one of the Elieu's arias from Turandot. And so why don't we see that video, and then we can talk. Brava, phenomenal singer, right? Yeah, amazing. So let's talk just for a second about Jessica. what was your relationship with her? Where is she from? Where is she now?
Jessica is from Guatemala, from the city of Guatemala in Guatemala. She came to me as a baby. She was, I think, 15 years old.
Wow.
She was brought to me by Luis Girón May, who was a very famous Guatemalan baritone, a wonderful singer. She came to me and said, well, now this is my baby, now it's your baby. She was in Mazatlan for, I don't know, for 5 years, and she's ready. She's singing all over the place now. She's singing with all the big orchestras in Mexico, and we are very proud of her.
She's
a very efficient singer.
And she's done some work at Bellas Artes, right?
Yes.
Which, you know, as I said, is not only a beautiful theater, but it is considered sort of the national opera theater of the country of Mexico. So if you're singing in Bellas Artes, you are, you know, a significant artist. We also have plans to have her sing in a production here, which I won't go into great detail with, but she's one of the artists that we're planning on bringing here. So, Maestro, how did you begin to feel confident or know that you could not only conduct, but begin to talk about teaching technique of singing?
I'm still looking for it. You know, art and music is something you're never ready. You're always looking for something, for a reason, and you know, we artists, we are so insecure. We are always looking for perfection, and we never find it, and we are always trying in the middle of depression or frustrations, and and the only thing I can tell you is that I adore human voice. When somebody sings well, it's like I don't know how to describe it. The emotion I feel, and I think that for the public, the impact of a good voice, a good singer in person is incredible. Something you never forget.
Yeah, excellent, beautiful answer. I will say for everyone, I've now interacted with Maestro Patron in a couple of different scenarios in a master class, watching him teach. He's very much a technical teacher. You have coaches that really coach repertoire and language. He does that too, but he really knows how to get into the technical specifications of the instrument. So you're a very good teacher. One thing I wanted to also ask is, you know, as I said, when I went to the first concurso in Culiacan, I was sort of struck by, wow, like these voices are great voices. There are a lot of great voices in Mexico. Do you have any sense of why that is? You know, is there something you think about the language of of Spanish language, or the way that music plays a role in the life of people in Mexico? But there's so many good singers in Mexico.
I think it's a little bit of everything. It's because we eat so much chile.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And also I think it's because of mariachi singing. You know, mariachi songs require a very operatic way of singing.
Yeah.
You know, all the big tradition of Mexican songs, you really have to place the voice in a very operatic place to sing it. So it's a little bit of everything. It's the temperament, it's the way we are, the way we talk, because when we talk, we sing.
Yes.
And singing is a very important part of our lives. Every Mexican sings or dances. I don't know how well, but we do it. It's part of our life.
So I will tell you that when I was in New York, if you've been in New York on the subway, you encounter a lot of mariachi musicians, right? They come on and they play. And I would sometimes sit and just watch, and I would think, you know, that singer, it's all up here, and if they just like did this a little bit and got a little higher and soft palate, a little lower in the larynx, that would be a great operatic tenor, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's sort of in that place, and it just, if it was adjusted.
You know why is that? You know, they had to sing without a microphone. And you know, the band of a mariachi, they are very loud. So they had to look for a placement in the voice that really carries on. Yeah.
I just have to say that two things. We're going to have a master class that all of you can watch. We'll send you the information. That's on September 24th. And also, I mean, we're going to have a mariachi program that you can all watch, and that's going to be on September 16th. We'll send you the information.
And the master class is Maestro Patron and me.
Yes.
Doing a virtual master class, which we recorded last week, and it was, I thought, really very good. And Maestro in Mazatlan, me in San Diego, and 6-7 singers
7.
that Andrea helped arrange that were in Mexico City. So it was quite a undertaking, but I think you really must see this, because to listen to Maestro Patron give advice, and also I will say, in my own, not to be humble.
Yes, two genius in the making.
Well, to the two of us to be able to give advice together, I thought was really great. So we think alike about singing. So it's a good thing. So
And also, David, the mariachi singers are these kids.
They're
the opera singers.
Oh, very nice.
So we want to prove a point.
Very good.
Enrique just said, about what Maestro just said.
Yeah. Let's watch our second video. So I want to move this along a little bit. And this is Mariana Sofia, right? Is that right?
Mariana Sofia.
Yeah, who's a mezzo-soprano and is singing Una voce poco fa, which, as you may know, is a little bit longer. So we're going to watch the whole thing because she's quite talented and young. So we'll hear her sing.
Una
So I got to hear Mariana in production of Sal Si Puedes last year in Mexico City, right? Andrea, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so Mariana sang in this opera by Daniel Catan, my former husband, my deceased husband, and it was premiered in Bellas Artes, and almost all the cast was made out of young singers, and she had a prominent role. I also want to say that Mariana started very young and with Maestro Patron. Now she's 24 years old. Enrique, when did she start it? How old was she?
I think she was 20, 19 or 20 years old.
And she started from zero.
Not real zero. She went to the singing competition in Culiacan, and well, you could always tell that she had a great voice, but she was singing like an old lady. Oh, oh, oh. So, well, you know how it is, David. I don't have to tell you.
Yeah, but you don't want that at the age of 19, definitely, right?
Yeah. You know, I'm struggling a lot with her because she's out in the world now, and you know, many coaches and people comes and tells her you have to try as a soprano, which I think is a pity.
Yeah.
Do you think she's a soprano? This is a question for all of you.
No.
She's a wonderful lyric mezzo soprano, and well, but you don't own the singers. They had to make their own choices.
Exactly, and she has an easy top.
Yeah.
Which people can probably think, you know, maybe.
But you know how easy she goes to the low G to.
Yeah. But you know, here's an interesting point for our audience that, you know, if you think about the career of a singer, someone would encourage you to be a soprano, and let's say then you're a full lyrico, maybe lyrico spinto soprano singing some of the repertoire of Puccini, someone might be pushing her in that direction. They can make a lot more money. But you also have to sing with the voice that you have, which would be a big pity for her to move in that direction.
Yeah.
Because I think
I think with time, with the age, with the right knowledge, she might change when she's 35 to sing the right roles.
I have to say that in the production of Sal Si Puedes, which I saw, which by the way is a phenomenal opera by Daniela Catan, she was by absolutely one of the younger singers, less experienced singers, but was sort of a standout for me because she's very commanding physically, and it's a very beautiful voice with a lot of presence. It's hard to hear in that video, a lot of presence in the theater, and she's very self-assured when she performs. And I know that I was at a performance of Sal Si Puedes with a representative from the publishing house of G. Schirmer, who's the big publishing house in New York that manages the works of Daniela Catan. And the woman that was there from G. Schirmer said the same thing. She said, wow, the one I liked the best was that young mezzo. So she has big promise.
She's also very, you know, just as you are, Enrique, she will give everything when she's on stage. And you can feel that. And she has a great voice. So yeah, let's hope that, let's tell her that she needs to remain.
She needs help. Please help, David.
So this is one of the things that I want to tell our participants today about that I've been thinking about is one of the challenges is there's so many fabulous singers, but they sometimes get a little stuck in Mexico and they can't find a bridge to a bigger career. One of Maestro Patron's students was a wonderful soprano that you saw here in our production of Florencia la Amazonas, who was singing the role of Rosalba, if you remember the younger soprano, not the Florencia, but the younger soprano, who has gone on to a big career now, a secure career, not big yet, but a secure career in Europe, right? So that's one option, and you've had several students do that.
Fernanda Castillo is her name.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mention her name. Maria Fernanda Castillo, right, who, if you remember, is just a luminous voice when she sang in the production here. But I've been trying to find ways, like in particular, when we think of Mariana Sofia, who just sang, I reached out to some contacts I had at Rice University and also the Metropolitan Opera to say, this is a real voice and Hispanic singer and needs to be developed a little bit further, but she needs a little boost. So if we could figure out a way to help her with that, which is one of the outcomes I hope we can have from Opera en Español, that it's a partnership, but it's also a bridge that goes two different directions. And then we can provide a path for some very talented young singers. So, Maestro, I just want to ask you, is there a one or two things in your approach, which is hard to say because singers are all so different, but that sort of is similar that you think about when you teach excellent singing?
Well, I'm not a teacher.
You are a teacher, but you may.
I just lend them my ears. You know, I have worked with so many wonderful singers, and I think like I have like a tape recorder in my brain, and I remember how they had to sound when it's right. Okay, so what I ask them all the time is to sing free, to sing, not pretend to be something you're not, to sing out, to use your body, to use all your energy. That's the things I tell them all the time, to project.
I think I will say that one of the things I've noticed with your singers, and when we were in Mazatlan last year, Andrea and I, and Maestro Patron arranged for a big group of the singers to sing for me. They're all very physical, and I mean that in a very good way. They're grounded physically. They sing into their bodies. They sing outward with a lot of energy. So they're very physical singers, and I think you ask a lot of them to put their whole physicality into what they sing, right?
Do you know that's the healthy way of singing. That's the way when you use your whole body, your whole physical strength, you keep yourself healthy. With a big career, you might sing for many years, but when you sing tight, only here, and you're pretending and using a little tiny voice, you know the voice is very fragile. It's two little muscles, two little things that are here. If they are not supported right, they go the wrong way. Yeah. You don't have the mic, your microphone.
Thank you. We mentioned Maria Fernanda Castillo, who our audiences know. Do you know if any of the rest of anyone that you've worked with has sung in San Diego?
Well, Fernando de la Mora sang there.
Ah, yeah, of course.
He was my pupil for many years.
Ah.
I don't know if Olivia Gora sang there.
I don't think so.
No?
But you have other students that have had a big presence in the United States as well.
Yes, Arturo Chacon.
You may know him, a wonderful Mexican tenor who's sung all over the world, really, but sung a lot in LA. So a good relationship there. Yeah, excellent. Well, let's listen to our third video because we're getting short on time. So speaking of tenors.
Wow.
This is a wonderful young tenor who will be singing with us. We have 2 contracts with this tenor in the future, who I saw first in a production of Florencia and Amazonas in Mexico City. How long ago, Andrea?
4 years ago.
4 years ago, and was a baby then. I think he was just out of Manis, right? Maybe?
He was out of Manis. Now he was about to premiere El Zorro, but COVID stroke, so couldn't.
So he's a young singer, but Mexican, went to the United States, studied at the Manis College of Music, was a student of Maestro Patron's, is a very beautiful voice, and it's starting to get some real kind of muscle in it, which is really interesting to hear. And he is singing E luce van le stelle from Tosca. For us, he will be singing the role of Tybalt in Romeo and Juliet, and also, what is the role, I'm sorry, in Rappaccini that we have him?
He's Giovanni. Is the
Giovanni.
male
the big love interest male tenor role in La Hija de Rappaccini, which you may have remembered seeing here years ago. So he's singing both of those roles for us. Yeah. So let's listen to Cesar sing. He's a beautiful singer. So it's fantastic. It's really interesting because when you, Andrea, had this recording, and when you put that on the list, I was like, what? Cesar Delgado singing Tosca? I'm not sure.
We just did a full performance of Tosca with Maria Catan just before the closing down in Jalapa, and it was a big success.
And he sang. He sang. Rossi. Yeah. So it's interesting to hear how his voice has changed so much since I first heard him, but he's also changed physically. He was kind of chubby and just a chubby kid. And now he's sort of a, suave leading man, handsome, voice with a lot of metal now. So it's really interesting. How old is he?
I really don't know. 28, 27?
I think he's 27.
Yeah.
And he's living where now?
Guadalajara. He's from Guadalajara.
He's from Guadalajara.
And he was here with us like for years, like two, same thing.
So we've been talking a lot about these singers.
You know what he sang with, what he did with us? He did Trovatore.
Ah, Trovatore. But didn't he also sing Barbieri recently with you?
Barbieri, yes. So it's like a kind of a, he has been trained to do so many things. His coloratura is very good.
So we've been talking about these singers and the relationship with you in Mazatlan. So it's not like them enrolling in Mannes College of Music in New York City. What is the program in Mazatlan where you work with them? What is it like?
Well, we have this fantastic theater, and beside the theater, we have this tiny little school called CMA, where we teach dancing, ballet, folkloric singing, everything. So in our apartment, in the opera apartment, so we teach them, we give them coaching for operas, for languages. We have them take ballet classes, folkloric classic, also flamenco dancing. So a little bit of all the teachers we have there, we try to grab things. So we don't have a lot of resources. I teach in a very small room. I think you saw it when you were there. Yeah. But we do it with a lot of love. That's what you need to do this opera thing.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will say that I think it would be a good opportunity for those of us on the call here that are our patrons. We need to plan a patron trip to Mazatlan.
Yes, come.
Yeah, and just because it's a phenomenal city, it's not far, it's great food, great culture, wonderful singing happening here, a beautiful theater that was renovated when? How long ago was the theater sort of
25 years ago.
Yeah. There's photographs in the lobby of the theater when it had no roof and there were trees growing from it, right?
Yeah, you know, it was abandoned for many years, and then a big hurricane came and destroyed the ceiling and everything, and it was closed for many years. So the trees grow from the walls. And so it was like a Steven Spielberg. What's the name? Steven
Spielberg.
Spielberg.
Yeah.
Movie, you know, it was like a scenery for a movie. It was wonderful. So the first opera we did there was Marum Butterfly without a ceiling.
Ah, wow.
And Gilda Cruz Romo, you remember her? The big.
Yes, yeah.
She did a recital there, and you know, we all remember when she was singing. A cat crossed the stage, and the bats were flying around her. So
It's
That's
amazing.
like magic realism or something.
yes.
Let's plan a trip once, you know, this COVID, you know, we have vaccines and all that. Let's plan when you have a season program.
Okay.
And one of the great things about, we were there in the theater when we heard Maestro Patron's students last year, but the lobby of the theater is outdoors because the climate is beautiful there. So you sort of enter through these doors and you're in an outdoor lobby. And then you enter into a very beautiful, looks like a opera house you would see in Italy. It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
So we only have a few minutes left. Andrea, I know that, was there another little video you wanted to show about the masterclass or no?
No, I think I would like for all of you to be able to join us when we present the masterclass. I was gonna give you a little piece of the pie, but then I thought, maybe the whole thing.
Yeah, let's don't tease them too much. Let's just let them come and see it. So I always like to make sure that we provide an opportunity for questions. There don't seem to be many that are posted yet in the chat. Does anybody have a question? And if you do, we can either unmute you or if you would type it in chat.
And you know, meanwhile, people write their questions. I want to say that these programs you can watch in the Facebook page of San Diego Opera.
Yeah.
And actually, instead of being 8 programs where they were 8 weeks, but we have 16 programs.
8 only feature the young singers. There's a lot of other programs as well, right? Yeah.
Well, we have local artists, then
Yes.
we have the 16 students, then we have words and music. It's a whole thing, but the students from Mazatlan are 16.
And if you know what opera en tu sofá means, it means what, Andrea?
Opera on your couch.
Yes, so it's where we're all living now, so it's a way to enjoy opera on your sofa.
On your sofa.
Andrea, do you think I could have a recording of this last bit when we talk about Mazatlan, so I can show them to the authorities here?
Yes.
Make them get involved.
I don't know if this program was recorded. Yeah, we
It's being recorded, so we'll give
Okay.
the program, Maestro. We have a couple of questions. One is, tell us again what roles the wonderful tenor will perform, and he is wonderful, in San Diego. Tybalt in Romeo and Juliet.
It's going to be wonderful, Steve. He did it with me. He was,
You need a lot of
punch.
control, but you need a lot of voice, right? And you need someone who's very physical because he has the sword fight, right? So he's Tybalt, and he's also singing. Sorry again, Andrea.
Oh, he's singing Giovanni in
Giovanni.
Daughter.
In La Hija de Rappaccini's daughter, Giovanni, which is also a wonderful role because he has a very Puccini-esque aria.
Yeah,
It's
he has an aria in a dream in a garden.
yeah. And here's an interesting question. If you are not a singer yourself, how do you teach the technique of singing, Maestro? Ears, yeah.
I have ears, and I guess I have intuition, and I think I have a gift that was given from above.
Yeah. I will say,
You know,
for someone that's watched you teach, you hear it technically. You may not know that, but you do.
Yeah.
You hear it technically. So you think about the position of the voice in the top and the middle and the vowels, and also you've conducted a lot of singers, so you've watched
Yeah.
what they do, right? Yeah.
You know, I think I grew up as a musician, as a conductor, very near the singer since the very beginning. So my ears got accustomed to the good singing.
Yeah.
So I get a reaction from my body when something is singing wrong.
I think you're missing something, Maestro, and is that you are a generous conductor, musician, teacher. You are generous. I remember, you know, you are a generous being.
And you are very good looking, Andrea.
Gracias. No, truly, you need that generosity for a teacher to tell you, hey, do it this way.
Yeah.
No?
Not critical, but generous. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
All right. Well, I think we've come to the end of our wonderful aperitivo. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Maestro Patron.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. And I hope to see you in Mazatlan.
We will arrange it. Absolutely.
You know, David forgot to say that we have wonderful hotels too, and wonderful restaurants.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And seafood.
And if not, you can all stay at my home.
All right. Gracias. Thank you all.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Gracias.
Ciao.